Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Splash Zone, where I give out my favorite NBA player props for the day. As for today, Friday, December 1st, happy December. I have 4 player props for you guys to lock in, 3 of which are of the plus money banger variety. Before we can get into today's picks, I do need to do a recap from yesterday. Yesterday was amazing, absolutely incredible. I gave out 3 picks on this YouTube channel, all 3 of which were plus money. We went 3 for 3, getting all of our plays yesterday to cash. Absolutely incredible day. We also got our honorable mention play to cash as well. So shameless plug to follow me on Twitter. I tweeted out that I wanted to target Karl Anthony Towns, but when I came out with the video, his odds weren't out yet. Once his odds were released, I posted Karl Anthony Towns 30 plus points. He cashed for us. Absolutely amazing day yesterday, which continues our hot streak on these NBA player props. I'm 6-1 in the past 2 days after going 3-1 2 days ago, 3-0 yesterday. That brings our total profit season to date on these NBA player props up to 12.96 units of profit with an ROI of 11.96%. Amazing that we are getting into a hot streak up over 5 units the past 2 days, over 6 units the past 2 days with these NBA player props. Hopefully we can keep it going tonight. Real quick, if you're not already, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And then for this video, comment, subscribe, like, all that stuff helps me out a ton. And let's get into it. So play number 1, this is in the Wizards versus Magic game. We're taking Jaylen Suggs under 14.5 points. This is at minus 111 odds at Bet Rivers. This play, I will admit, is scary. It is the ultimate fade of recent events, fading Jaylen Suggs, who just went off against the Wizards. And I know, I get it. Trust me, I get it. The Wizards are a complete and utter joke. But for those of you that have been following me know, I absolutely love situations like this. And if you're new to my YouTube channel, what I mean by this is these teams literally just played on Wednesday. Their most recent game was against each other. And in situations like that, I try to find situations where we can fade recent events. So these 2 teams just played. Jaylen Suggs went off. Well, I'm going to bet the opposite of that in the next game. And I will admit, yes, Suggs did have a great game. He scored 22 points. He went 9 of 15 from the field and 3 of 6 from deep. The thing is, a lot of those stats I just gave out are season highs for Jaylen Suggs. 22 points, season high. Only the 3rd time on the year he's eclipsed 20 or more points. His 15 field goal attempts, season high. His 9 field goals made, season high. On the year, Jaylen Suggs has only gone over 14.5 points in 6 of 17 games, and he had missed it in 3 straight games heading into last night's game. This is also a positive expected value play from a projection perspective on 2 sources that I trust. Props.cash projects him at 12.24 points. Betting Pros projects him at 12.2. I know that this feels scary because of how well he played, but the more likely scenario after him having season highs is that it swings back the other way. That's part of my fading recent events strategy, right? Generally, things in the NBA, ups and downs, it's wavy. So just because he had a career high or season high in points doesn't mean I think he's going to have another good game. I like fading him in this one, which I get it. It's scary, but I really, really like it as our first play. Next up in the Knicks versus Raptors game, Jaylen Brunson under 2.5 made 3-pointers, plus 112 odds at FanDuel. Second play, our second and final under play of the evening in another situation where we are fading recent results. And this one is going to also feel scary, but we're fading Jaylen Brunson specifically from deep. This is a play probably with the Jaylen Suggs one. Take a shot of Pepto when you're locking this bet in because it's scary and it's going to make your stomach queasy, but I absolutely love it. And similar to Suggs, Jaylen Brunson was awesome yesterday. He scored 40 plus points. He made a whopping 7 3-pointers. So instead of backing him, to me, this sounds like the perfect opportunity to fade him. Number 1, the Knicks are on the second half of a back-to-back, and they're traveling. And Jaylen Brunson played 40 minutes in last night's game. So he might have a little bit of tired Tibbs legs in this one. And the situations of these 2 games are entirely different. Heading into last night's game, A was against the Pistons, who have literally didn't win a game in November. They're terrible. They're below average in every single defensive metric. But Heading into that game against the Pistons, Jaylen Brunson was coming off of a terrible game. So you knew he was going to come into that game motivated, also with a really easy matchup. That's why I targeted Brunson yesterday. This game, as I mentioned, second half of a back-to-back, he's just not going to have quite the same fire that he did. And he's playing a much better defense in the Raptors. On average, the Raptors give up the 5th fewest three-pointers made specifically to opposing teams' point guards. It's night and day going from the Pistons to the Raptors. So I know this one's scary, but I love this play. I love fading Brunson to go under 2.5 made three-pointers as our second play. Third up, this is in the Sixers versus Celtics. We're taking Jayson Tatum over 4.5 assists, plus 116 odds at Caesars. Normally when the Celtics and Sixers play, I like to target Tatum points. This time we're going to go with assists instead. This is also a situation where we are going to be fading recent events. Tatum has missed this number in 4 straight games, but prior to that 4-game stretch, he had cashed it in 4 of the previous 5 games and in 5 of the previous 8 prior to this 4-game stretch. And even if you look at just these last 4 games where he's missed it, it's not like he has just completely stopped passing and not getting any assists at all. In 3 of those 4 games, he's had exactly 4 assists. So it's not like his playmaking has gone down. Just the shots weren't falling where he was dishing it out. Eventually, things start to swing back the other way. It's the same logic for my previous 2 plays. Eventually, things will start to swing back the other way. Tatum also just crushes the Sixers from every perspective, but also from an assist perspective as well. He has cleared 5 or more assists in 11 of the last 13 games against the Sixers. Now that includes the playoffs last year. That includes both games the Sixers and Celtics have played this year, where Tatum had 6 assists in each game. And in the most recent game, Tatum had 6 assists in a game that Porzingis missed. So even with Porzingis out, I'm not scared off. The Sixers defense is solid generally, but they allow 27 assists per game, which is the 9th most in the NBA. Another situation, both betting pros and props.cash project him to be above this number. So I like taking Jayson Tatum assist to go over in this one as our third play. Last up, 4th and final pick of the evening, CJ McCollum over 2.5 made three-pointers, plus 132 odds at FanDuel. So our last play of the evening, we're heading back to the Splash Town, but at least this time we're not fading someone. We are backing CJ McCollum to get 3+ made three-pointers. So CJ has only played in 7 games this year due to that whole casual collapsed lung situation. But on the year, in those 7 games, he's cashed in 4 of those 7 games. And I specifically like him tonight for a couple reasons. Number 1, his first game back from that collapsed lung situation was his last game last Wednesday against the Sixers. He had 3 made three-pointers in that game. But the most important thing is he played 28 minutes. And a first game back from a lung issue, playing 28 minutes is pretty good. So even if he only plays 28 minutes in this one, I would be okay with that. In those 28 minutes, he attempted a very juicy 8 three-pointers, making 3 of them, as I mentioned. In every single game this year, CJ McCollum has attempted at least 6 three-pointers. And Pelicans, they desperately need his shooting. So I think he's going to continue to fire away in this one. Luckily, going up against the Spurs is one of the easiest matchups you can imagine. They're just a train wreck. Spurs give up the 3rd most three-pointers in the NBA. They allow the 2nd highest three-point percentage made against them. Even if CJ McCollum does not get to 30 minutes in this one, I'm okay with that. I still think he can get to 3+ made three-pointers, cashing our final play of the evening. And that's all I got. 4 plays for you guys to lock in. Hopefully we can continue our hot streak, 6-1 in the past 2 days, 3-0 yesterday. If you are riding with me, make sure to comment and let me know. Other than that, as I mentioned, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like the video, helps me out a ton. I appreciate everybody for watching, and have a good one.